Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Spot Report for this week. I want to deal with an issue that is on the minds of many believers across the world, and that has to do with the end times. When do they begin? What constitutes the end time? When do they end? And I was moved to consider this because of an email that I received this week from a group that is advocating very, very strongly that September 23rd is going to be the rapture of the church. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, frankly. And I think that because Jesus has said no one knows the hour or the day that of his coming or of what's going to take place. We may know the season once it starts, but we don't know the hour or the day. Now, as you well know, there are a host of prophecy teachers that are out there. And they can't all be right, because some of them are contradictory of others. But I do think this. I think that in the realm of prophecy and the end times, I think it's like a precious jewel, a facet, a diamond that has many facets. And as it shines before the light, different facets show up. And I think different prophecy teachers have understanding, insight into different facets of the end time diamond, if you will. So don't discount them, but recognize that nobody has the whole diamond, myself included. But I think we can say with certainty, really, when the end times begin and what constitutes the end times, really. There's a 7-year period that will begin and end with the countdown with the coming of the Lord in power and great glory. It's referred to in Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. It's his 70th week. It's a 7-year period that begins when a world leader that ultimately emerges and is recognized as the Antichrist. He strengthens, he undergirds an already existing covenant or treaty that must involve the Jews. It says he makes this with many. It must involve the Jews. No doubt has some aspects of a guarantee for peace for them. And we must believe that it authenticates and authorizes the establishment of a sacrificial system among the Jews, because 3.5 years after he makes this covenant, he breaks it by stopping the sacrificial system. So I think it's important to recognize that constitutes the end times. You can put the Psalm 83 war, you can put the destruction of Damascus from Isaiah chapter 17. You can put a whole host of these. You put the rapture wherever you want, before or after. That's a polarizing teaching at this point, I think. And I don't think it's necessary to understand the end times. The end times is constituted by that 7-year period that covers everything that the book of Revelation covers from chapter 6 on to the end of the book. It covers the 6 seals, the 6 trumpets, and the 6 bowls of wrath. That's the end times, and there will be no mistake about it. We're not amongst the trumpets at all right now. There will be no mistaking it. For example, there's a 200 million man army at the 6th trumpet that destroys 1/3 of mankind. That's going to be pretty hard to miss. So I think we need to recognize that the end times are coming. They're not here yet. I think he's preparing God's people for it. And I think it's no mistake that nobody has a full understanding of it. Daniel was told in the closing chapter of his prophecy, chapter 12, he said, in verse 9, it says, "Go your way, Daniel, because the words are closed up and sealed until the time of the end." They're closed up and they're sealed. We'll have aspects, various facets of the truth, but the whole thing, the diamond is sealed until the time of the end. And then it goes on to say in the close of verse 10, "But those who are wise will understand." So there will be an understanding, there will be wisdom that God gives to his prophets. The scripture says God does nothing without revealing his plans to his prophets. So that will be known. But the end times themselves are that 7-year period that covers practically all of the book of Revelation. And that's when all hell breaks loose. And that's not happened yet. So what do we do as believers? I think the instruction that the scriptures give to us as believers is given to us in Luke chapter 21, verse 36, where he says this, "Be always on the watch and pray that you may have the strength to escape." Strength to escape. Now, if escape wasn't a possibility, he wouldn't be offering that and saying, look for it and pray for it. But watch and pray that you may be able, you may have the strength to escape all that is about to happen, and that you may be able to stand before the Son of Man. That's what we need to do right now. That's our mission. That's our command from headquarters at this point. But understand, the end times begin when Daniel's 70th week, that 7-year period that begins with the Antichrist making a covenant that includes Israel. And then when the devastation comes. Till next week, Od Ki Yavo Shiloh, or until Messiah comes, Yivareka Yahweh. God bless you. Yahweh bless you.